Yo, this is Mel with Palace Finest Bullies. Yes, I said it, Palace Finest Bullies. Today's video is about why breeders need cages. Now, obviously, I see two cages, and there's one on the side I'm sitting on. So basically, I have three. Y'all probably thinking three cages, whoa, that's a lot. Believe it or not, I'm on a shortage of cages. I don't have a lot of cages. I need more cages. Cages is good. Before I go into it, like I said, I'm in a shortage of cages. Cages, we need them. And like I said, it separates the dogs. So you got two puppies in that cage, which I have four puppies in that cage, and then two left. Then you got Sugar in the other cage, and I got one puppy cage over here. This video, I'm probably gonna have to move. I can't sit down. So this cage is supposed to be for the pups. Well, for my keeper. That cage is Cura's cage, and that right there is Sugar's cage. Now, you see these cages, and y'all say, oh, they're trapped. Cages keep everything in order. So you got two puppies over here. You got one pup over there. And you got Cura right now roaming free, which I'm not really worried about Cura. Cura's in her own little world. But when you, cages is good for quarantining, separating males from breeding with females. Cages basically help keep your kennel in order. It helps keep your kennel in the right direction. And when I mean direction, it's not confusing. It keeps the males separated from the females, females separated from the males. And one of the reasons why is because cages it stops dog fighting. It stops unwanted breedings. It stops puppies from roaming around. It also, stop. Cut it out, making a video. It also helps when you get your dog's ear cropping and you want to keep it separated from the litter mates, or say you're dealing with parvo or the dog is sick, you can separate them. So really and truly, you need more cages like that, smaller for little puppies. You need more cages like that. And this cage I'm not a big fan of, but it has been working lately. So basically, you need different cages for certain things. Cages is the most important thing when you're starting a kennel, because cages is basically for responsible breeders. Cages, you know, when your female comes in her season, it stops the male from breeding with her and stops unwanted breedings, unwanted puppies, and unwanted paired breedings. Let's say you have to quarantine a puppy, what I just said, it got parvo or has a stomach problem or diarrhea. You want to separate it from its litter mates, so you'll put it in a different cage because you don't want the puppy getting sick, or you don't want it contaminating the other puppies. Or when you need to travel, you use a cage so the puppy is in its own little area. Cages is also a good potty training tool. It's also a good tool for telling the dog, this is your home. This is something you sleep in. You know, if you don't want your dog sleeping with you. It also, when you go away, when you not go away, but let's say you go to the grocery store and you don't want the dog roaming around, you'll put it in the cage. Or if you have a psychopath dog that's a little bit aggressive, you put him in the cage when company comes. Cages, he or she, cages are good for breeders, and it's good for people that want to add structure to their dog's life, or not only structure, but say when a dog is sick or needs quarantine, cages come in handy. If I let these puppies out right now, they're going to get into any and everything. You know, you don't want a litter of puppies roaming around the room. You see what they did to the walls in here. You see. So you don't want to have puppies, you know, roaming around. You don't want your big dogs. Let's say your big dogs have a chewing problem. You don't want them chewing on your furniture. Yes, toys work, but sometimes toys don't work. So you just got to know how to deal with the puppies and deal with the big dogs. Like I said, you're going to need cages. I am short on cages. So when I get everything set up, we're going to get at least about 10 cages in different sizes, shapes, and forms. Breeders need cages. Cages is something that we keep everything in order. We keep unwanted pregnancies, unwanted fights. We keep from unwanted sicknesses. When a puppy is sick, we put them in a different cage. Also, too, it's just good structure for training. You know, cages make your life as a breeder easier. Cages it is not hurting the dog. It's not harming the dog. It's not keeping the dog trapped. It's just showing the dog's boundaries. It's showing the dog's respect, and it's showing that for us, it's showing that we're responsible enough to put our dogs in a cage because we let our dogs roam bug free a while. Something might happen. You got to understand something. These are animals. Animals get into anything, everything, and that's something that you don't want your name on a dog fight or unwanted breeding. Or, you know, let's say you're a breeder and you got a puppy and she's 6 months and she come and heat. Your stud smell it and he gets her pregnant. So now you got a litter that can't be registered. You got a litter that can't be registered, and you got a 6-month-old puppy pregnant. So what's that? You know what I'm saying? That's the unresponsibility. Now, if you had a cage, you could have both of them in the cage, or had a female put in the cage, and she could she won't be able to get pregnant. You can prevent the pregnancy, or you could have her roaming around and him in the cage. But another thing, a cage is too, when you got a pregnant female, not a pregnant female, but you have a female in her season, you put her in the cage because you don't want that blood everywhere. You don't want that droppings everywhere, the blood. And when pregnant females, not pregnant. Yeah, you could say pregnant. When pregnant females are pregnant, they get a little more aggressive. They want to be by themselves. They don't really want to be bothered. So you'll put them in a cage, let them be in their own little area. Or when a female comes in heat, when she comes in her season, you know, she does get a little more aggressive. She don't want to be bothered until it's time for her days to be bred. So, like I said, cages shows the responsibility. You don't want, because your female came in season or she's pregnant, to get in a fight because you didn't have a cage or you didn't have nowhere to put her. And these cages, that's a 48, that's a 46. This is a 36, this cage. You gotta have different size cages. And like I said, I'm always gonna keep cages. I gotta get more. We gotta get more, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a shortage of cages. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. This is Mel with Palace Finest Bullies, and I am out.